Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Goodbye Bullshit, Hello Happiness, the Young and Empowered edition. You all know Samir. Samir has been on the show several times. He is my co host for the Young and Empowered. And I'm just going to hand over to him because we've got a list of topics that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to have him get us started on it. Samir, welcome. Good morning.
Thanks for having me once again, Atousa. I'm so excited to be back here on Young and Empowered, and we have such a slew of topics to get spoken about today, and I can't wait to start speaking. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody who's watching in advance. And I just want to get started with the whole idea of the youth, and I even include myself in this, with this whole epidemic of self-medicating, right? So we are living in the most uncertain world that we probably have ever lived in a long time, and a lot of people, men especially, have a hard time seeking help to fix the root cause of their issues, and they tend to go down to self-medicating path, and I feel like that's an important topic we need to discuss today. And,
Yes, I agree. And Samir, you would be happy about this. I'm recently getting more male clients, which is like I'm like amazed. I'm like, wow, things are
Let's
shifting.
go. Let's
I know.
go. Yes.
It's
I love
just
to
the
hear
more
that.
and more they're coming and seeking help because it's not working. What
Right.
they're doing is not working, and the self-medicating. It comes in different forms. I've seen it there. It's either can be. I think people are stepping sort of more aware from alcohol. But now the newest thing that I keep hearing from everybody is microdosing, mushrooms.
Right.
And, and I get that too. Like, well, do you work with people? And I think people have lost the fact that for the shamanic healing and for any type of healing, those ancestral healings that they did, that they used plant medicine, it wasn't, I'm going to use the plant medicine to get away from myself or go into something else. But it was more used as a self-discovery tool to show you. And that's why they always said, you got to be ready when you take those things. You got to be prepared. You got to be in a safe environment. You got to be in a place that you are guided even. Because there's a guidance that's needed with those things, because you're going in there to face your demons, basically, face yourself. And but the way I feel like it's shifting right now, the new popular thing is microdosing. I know there's advantages there, but just like everything else, even like exercise, yes, it's got advantages, but you don't want to take it too far. You don't want to use it as a tool to escape.
Right.
So,
Right.
what are you seeing out there?
Just exactly what you said. I feel like there's never a one-size-fit-all solution for situations like this, and there's definitely testimonies out there for people who have successfully microdosed, whether it be shrooms or LSD or psychedelics, any type of compound that allows you to escape the confines of this reality and make you aware of the multi-dimensions that exist. And you're completely right. It could be very dangerous because if you're not knowing where you're getting these things from, what they're cut with, you could potentially get something called a bad trip, and a lot of people it's irreversible. It does a lot of damage to the brain, and it just boils down to personally escaping your reality. So the reality thus far that has been developed is just so unbearable that you need to cope by using an outside substance, whether it be alcohol, whether it be marijuana, whether it be mushrooms, whether it be LSD. And granted, I'm not talking down on these things because it's helped a lot of people, but addressing the root cause, I feel like, should be step number one. You know, you have to be comfortable entering that introspective world, going inside, and attempt to face these demons or these shortcomings or these problems that you're having internally without that. And like, you know, you never want to force the issue. If something happens organically and it feels right, you know, I'm a firm believer in going ahead and going with the flow and doing what feels right. But if it's forced, and then if you develop a dependency, I think we disconnected here. Let's see. Oh, you're back.
We're back. Yeah. Don't know what happened. Okay. Maybe StreamYard is having some issues.
Yeah. I'm glad we're back. But just to finish that train of thought, but I feel like addressing the root cause and trying to do your best to face those demons without anything first.
Yeah.
Would be a good way to alleviate those problems versus being dependent on these substances.
And what I want to also point out, again, I mean, I think we're both saying the same thing as far as like they do have their advantages. And just like everything else, as long as you're not using it to escape yourself, that's where the advantages of these things and anything you do comes in. Now, also with microdosing and using those substances, I think part of it is that escape, and part of it, there is a belief that you need it in order to have a spiritual experience. I know for myself and for a lot of people that have come to me for healing, and they have gifts, and they have the gifts of vision, hearing, or whatever their gifts are, many of them have not used any sort of substance to get to that point. You know, you don't need it in order to have your visions and get in touch with those other dimensions, metaphysical realm, whatever you want to call it. I mean, for me, right. I didn't do any. I mean, I left it out. I said, you know, if the universe wants me to use those things, I'm sure it will come to me. I was open to it, but it never came. And I think it was for a reason for me to know that I can do it without, that I don't need it. So that's the other thing I want to point out, that it's not necessary. You don't need it in order to have a visionary experience. You don't need it to get in touch with spirits, right. Your higher self, or even the other dimensions and metaphysical worlds. And so I wanted to mention that as well with that.
A lot of people need to hear more examples. A lot of people need to hear examples of that you don't necessarily need it to get to that level, because the examples that we're given, and but by mainstream media, we got the examples of Steve Jobs of creating Apple. You know, we have the examples of a lot of public figures that have had groundbreaking experiences using these substances. So that's pretty much what a lot of people know, because that's what we are understood and see on our feeds and read and research. But there needs to be more research with testimonies like yours, saying that you have reached these heights without anything, besides just the work that you've put into yourself.
Exactly. But and you and I talked about this. I think part of this goes back to the culture of instant gratification, especially among the younger generation. And I think it's getting even more and more. They're seeking instant gratification in much younger ages, like meaning like kids that are in high school and middle school and even elementary school. You know, it's just I need it right now. I want it right now. I want to feel this way right now. And that need for instant gratification that's there, and it's getting worse. And I think part of that is again, it's an escape mechanism, and also what feeds into it is the social media that's out there, that's feeding all these things that, you're less, basically that mentality that you're less, and in order to be more, you need start grabbing things.
Absolutely. And then it's difficult. This instant gratification problem is difficult because we are now in a world where it's embedded in our culture. You know, instead of going to the store, you have Uber Eats. Instead of, you know, taking a walk, you can just call yourself an Uber to get to point A to point B. So like it's literally getting embedded into the culture. So now you're reluctant to be patient and to enjoy and be present, because you have access at your fingertips to just get whatever you want, whenever you want.
It's true. It's true. And the other thing, you know what I realized? I think the universe is changing that for us. Because right now, if you notice, the culture, which you mentioned perfectly, was that it's been a culture that it's ready whenever you want it. The Amazon delivery and anything you want, actually, you know, it's available. Whatever you want, it's out there. But now we're seeing like things that are not readily available, like, you know, your coffee, you know, not there are things that are out of stock now that you can't get. The shortage is coming. Exactly. And I think universe is saying, hey guys, you know, I gave you COVID to have you stop, have you pause, have you go inside, have to look at things and take care of nature better. And now it's the next phase of this that, you know, that everything I want, everything I need, let me have it right now. And it's giving us the shortages and everything for us to, because I remember a time when I was growing up, I grew up in revolution, I grew up in war. And I was remembering that this morning, actually, that they gave us these coupons that per family, and depending how many people were in your family, would tell you like how many eggs you could get, how much bread you could get, how much milk you could get, how much even oil you could get to warm up your house. So all those things were based, and there were these lines that we would go in, like, you know, I would go in one line or my sister would go in another line, and we had to get, you know, it wasn't there. And I was like, oh my God, you know, and now I don't know if it's going to get that bad, but I see the shortages now that people, hey, you know, like for me, my Nespresso, all those coffees that I like, it's not there anymore. I was like, it's a good feeling, actually. I'm like, yeah, it's not there. Now what am I gonna do?
Right, and it's a blessing and a curse, because this is definitely a good teaching opportunity for people to be like, okay, I kind of have to fend for myself. Maybe I should learn how to grow vegetables in a garden, or how to grow my own coffee beans, to not, you know, to suffer and wait in long lines at the grocery store and not be able to have the things I enjoy. So the codependency, so you're codependent on these instant gratifications, these apps and ways to get whatever you want, whenever you want. The world is kind of making you either a victim, and if you're too deep into the instant gratification, you pretty much shit out of luck. Or you could be like, let me use this as an opportunity to be able to do things on my own, so I don't have to rely on these services. And in turn, you use your presence. You become present. You pick up a new hobby. You enjoy gardening, and I feel like this is definitely a wake up call to a lot of people to really stop being so codependent on these services and escape that inner matrix.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, how do you see social media coming into play when it comes to this? Everything, honestly, I think it touches everything. It touches the microdosing. It touches this instant gratification. It touches even like, I know I have a lot of clients that come to me for their kids, that they have eating disorders. And, you know, so how do you see social media? Because, I mean, I use social media just as bare minimum, but I know with the younger generation that, I mean, like, I know my son is Snapchat, and he's not on Twitch, but I was like, I know he's told me Twitch, TikTok, Discord, Instagram, Facebook. It's like so many of it. It's like Facebook is for the old people, Mom, but okay, the other ones. But there's so much out there. And what do you think is, how is that causing all these issues for the young people?
So wow, this is a heavy topic, and I have a lot to say about it. But I'm going to start off by saying that social media, from top to bottom, age 0 to 85, is the biggest programming tool used in mankind. You know, this it's we don't longer watch television or the news as much as we're on our phones constantly scrolling through feeds to get, and this is our main source of getting our information. So these apps and these social media companies understand that, and it's kind of crazy that the executives on the top of these apps are psychology experts. They know what's going to keep you sucked in. Their job is to understand you more than you understand yourself, or anybody close to you understands yourself. So when you scroll, you're gonna get that hit of dopamine. You're gonna get that hit of gratification of like, oh wow, I like this. This is satisfying. And it gets dangerous because when you mindlessly scroll and you don't use it consciously, it could make you fall into that deep rabbit hole of comparison and negativity and depression because you feel like you're not reaching milestones like your friend is, or you're not your life was supposed to be together at 22, but you're behind. And I want to just make it very clear to people that you could have an active part in this programming and create your own algorithm. So if you notice that your whatever's on your feed, your explore page, whatever you scroll is stuff that makes you feel down, you wipe it out and go into the pages that you feel like you need help in. If you feel like you need to get on your fitness journey, follow fitness pages with authentic information. If you feel like you want to, strengthen your spiritual side, whatever walk path you may walk, Christian, Buddhist, go into these pages, because there's a page for everything, and have an active role of the information you're consuming. Your diet isn't just what you eat. Your diet is what you see, what you read, what you take in. So play an active role in this new world that we're living in, and use and watch information that's going to propel you forward and not going to bring you down. And use this social media. It's, as much as I said bad, it's very good. You could launch business. You don't need to hire marketing. You could market yourself. If you go viral on TikTok, you could get royalties. You could get money per view, per stream. You could get partnerships. So gear your mind away from the consumer part and just mindlessly being a consumer, and then move towards, okay, let me make this system help me and my family and my loved ones and move me forward. And when I find myself coming back down because of it, let me take a social media detox. Let me delete these apps. It's as simple as swipe, delete. Let me delete them. Let me take a break. That's surface level what I think about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Clearing your feed is very important. I talked about this in different aspects of it, that the more, like you said, follow the things that helps you, follow the ones, and even in those, you got to see if the energy matches what you want, because it comes under that umbrella of self-help, under the umbrella of exercise, under all those things, still has to match your energy, still has to feel good, because if it's not, then it's not for you, and the information you're getting is not helping you. Just because it's good per se doesn't mean that it's good for you where you're at in your life. And the other thing also, I know, that's yes, it's good social media that people use it for business and marketing, and I see it that there's a trap also in that as well, where you get sucked into, I'm not doing enough. Look at this one, they're saying like they've done this and this and this, and they've gotten to this place, and maybe I need to do this, and maybe it's like going out too much. Again, with everything, bring it back in, because if it's not good for you, if it doesn't feel good for you, it's not for you. It's not the way to use it. So use even them as a marketing tool, as a business tool. use it the way it feels good to you, not the way people tell you. Because for me, like, I know I get lots of things, that emails and, messages on there that says, come do this, come do that. And if you're not grounded in what you want and you pursue all those things, you'll see at the end of the day, it's more about like reaching outside again. Let me go grab this. Let me go, because, maybe this will bring me money. Maybe this will go from the inside. Because part of it was like, I know I get them to say like, okay, you come and put it in here, and then you're gonna tag this, and it's basically like a marketing chain that you want them to come back to you. And they say, well, you need to make sure that they need you. You constantly, all the markets, like, you need to make sure that the people need you and they want you, and you have to like go out there and make them believe that they need you. I'm like, well, what if I don't want them to need me? I want them to know that they, they have whatever they need inside, and I just want to guide them to that. And they're like, well, then you're not going to make money. I'm like, well, then, I'll find my way of making money, not the way. So be mindful with all of, again, I think it goes back to our first point. Whatever you use, whatever you do, make sure it feels good for you and it's the right tool to get you back inside. From inside come out, not outside.
Right. And then I love that point that you made, that make sure it's right for you, because on a specific example, there's like the woke culture and the spiritual culture on these social media platforms. They're taking something that's supposed to be beautiful, organic, and seamless, and providing it with rules and constructs that are making people have an idea that I'm holier than you. Like, I'm more spiritual. I'm more woke than you. You're a goner. So that's the complete opposite of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to become whole. Yes. We're not trying to be compartmentalized. So I feel like do what's right for you, and work on strengthening that independent, whatever your moral compass is. I don't like using that word. Just whatever feels right for you. Be aware, be in the driver's seat of what information you're taking in. All right. Take an active role in understanding, like, maybe this doesn't really align with what I'm trying to do, or what I'm trying to heal, or what I'm trying to fix. And, just nobody's better than anybody, to be honest. Everybody's a student forever. So we are students forever. Don't look down on probably. Nobody's beneath you. We're all here together to help each other come up. And when we're all up together, we just enjoy the ride.
I love that because I tell this to everybody. We're never going to get it done.
Yeah.
We are never going to get it done. We're always constantly learning. We're constantly healing. It's a process. It's a beginning and an end. It's a constant death and a rebirth. And it's gonna, as long as we're in these physical bodies, that's gonna happen. And I'm happy that you brought the sort of the woke trap that's there. Because a lot of times I have to tell my clients to, for a while, just stop looking at books and YouTube videos and everything. And because I want them to connect back inside your heart, in your heart, that's your guidance. That's your intuition. Everything in here, what feels good for you and what's right for you. And a lot of those things, like you mentioned, is the energy behind it. Once you figure out your own energy, what feels good to you, then you can distinguish what's right for you and what's not. And a lot of times when those material out there, they're good ones. I'm not saying, and you will find what is right for you. Universe is always guiding you no matter what anyway. You are always going to get it. Even if you go down this rabbit hole, it's going to bring you back to where you need to be. But start getting back in touch with yourself, because everything behind everything, there is an energy. There is I put my energy into these videos. Samir has his energy in this video. Anything you touch has the energy of the person presenting it and bringing it to you. And if that's a match to you, great. But if it's not, just because somebody says it doesn't make it so. So you got to take all that information and you parse it out. What feels good to me? What feels good to me in my heart for me at this time? Because we're all evolving and changing as well. The me that's sitting here today is not the me, 10 days from now. Two different people.
That's right. That's right. That's right. We're in a constant, transformative state. And I really want to bring up a good, while on the topic of social media and everything, if you notice a narrative that's being aggressively pushed, or a system or a culture that's being aggressively pushed, as a user, as a human being, just look at it and take a step back and really just make your own decisions whether you want to participate or not, because there's power in numbers. When a lot of people are talking about something, it's unconsciously going to get embedded in your brain, whether it be like a big thing that happened in like the Oscars, Will Smith slapping somebody. The more energy you put towards something, the more collective energy it has towards it, the more it's going to affect you. So understand that these systems, these phones, these social media companies are made to make you dependent on tech and technology, and don't take an active role in you being a human being, and take a step back and always use it for you and not let it use you.
Perfectly said. I want to add one more thing and get your perspective too.
Yes.
Video games. Gaming, fun. I nothing against gaming, guys. But I also know in that, because I've talked to people that make these games, and when you mention psychology, they hire people and they do it in a way to I don't want to say get you hooked. I don't have the right word for it, but it's like, it intensifies all those feelings and emotions. And I'm like, I've noticed it with my son. I tell him, it's like, well, when you're on there too much, have you seen how you change? Soon as you stop, you're like, it's like you're vibrating.
Yeah.
And you just need to downtime. And I don't know if people are aware of, even video games, how much it impacts you.
Oh yeah, when we talk about escaping reality, video games is the number one. And I'll get to this towards the end, but video games, gaming in general, is pretty much geared towards creating a reality that you enjoy more virtually than your actual reality here on Earth. That's why you get so into it. You're playing Call of Duty, you're yelling on the mic like, on me, on me. It's you literally, just like you're watching a movie, as if you're in the movie, you're in the game. And now there's technologies getting put out there, Meta, the Oculus, where you're in a virtual reality, and they're slowly trying to creep you into enjoying a reality virtually more than your actual life. And I personally think that they want it to be one day that you come home from work and you just plug in, and then you enjoy the life of your dreams virtually. And you be aware of that. That's what's going on.
That makes me sad.
It's sad.
I agree with you. That just made me so sad that one day, imagine the culture that, you're going to work and then you're like, okay, I'm going to unplug by just going into the life I want.
Of my dreams, my God, but it's virtual. They're literally,
so
it's sad, but you know what? There's a lot of people that think the contrary. They can't wait for it. And just be aware that that's what's going on. Be aware that that's going on, and also be aware that you could make this current physical life that you're living beautiful, like it was supposed to be designed to be.
But for you, I'm really curious. I can't do gaming. Honestly, I just Ilya's asked me to play with him some of these games. I'm like, I cannot even follow it. I don't like. Maybe he says you're old. I said, okay, I'm old. I just cannot do it. And then he got an Oculus to use it for exercise stuff. And And I said, yeah, I wanted to use it because you can do artwork in there, and I can't do it. The whole thing, like, it just gets me dizzy. I get a headache. It just messes with my whole system. I'm like, okay, I can't even do this one. So,
Yeah.
but I know, like, his age group, like all of them, they have these things and they play on it. So what is, and it's, I don't know if they're using it as an escape or is just fun to them. It's a way, I know for them, it's a way to connect with each other. That's the way
Right.
he connects with his friends. They're
Right.
all online, they're talking to each other. You know, sometimes he has them even like on FaceTime. They're like five of them on FaceTime and they're playing together. So I know that they use it as a socialization. So what do you think about that? What do you have any messages for them, for the kids that they're using it? You know, how can they use it better? I mean, like, I don't mind
Right.
them using it, but how can they use it better? Even as a socializing tool, how can they use it better so they don't get sucked into it?
I say utilize the technology, have fun with it, but understand it for what it is. And I say for the young kids, young boys, young girls out there that use it and have really good time connecting with their friends on Fortnite, whatever it may be, have that fun, but also have more fun in the real world. So meet up with each other, go ride your bikes, go play flag football, go have races, go play manhunt outside, because that's the way I personally grew up. That's the way a lot of
Yeah.
people before me grew up, and we had awesome childhood memories that aren't virtual memories. You know, down the line, we're not going to really be talking about how we had a good time meeting up at Fortnite and having a 5-0 streak. You know, that's
Yeah.
literally what's going to be happening as the generations progress. And it's physical fun. It's not only just fun, but you're getting two birds, one stone. You get exercise out of it. You know, you get exercise out of it. You get tired. You probably get better sleep at night, because the screens, being so locked in onto the screens and onto the blue light and the virtual reality on the Oculus,
Yeah.
you're gonna mess up your sleep schedule. Your brain isn't gonna be functioning the way it would be if you are participating in real life. Wake up when the sun rises, take some of that sunlight, go out, get tired, go to sleep when the sun goes down. Versus some people are taking like pre-workout drinks to get on the game and be wired, caffeinated
Yeah,
up
I know.
until 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So understand that it disrupts life's natural rhythm, and have, as much as you have virtual fun, have more real fun. That's how I say. That's how I see it.
I hope more kids are listening, or more parents. I mean, as parents, it becomes hard too. You know, we push our kids, but at some point, it's just it's, and like for Ilya, I know a lot of times, like, he's the only child, and he's like, you know, he wants to go out there and be with friends, but if all his friends are online, he's like, well, you know, nobody's coming out to play, so it doesn't give him that option, and it becomes harder. You know,
Yeah.
I always get to be the playmate, but then I'm mom. I'm not, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the friend that he can play with. So I'm hoping that more and more kids step away from the games and
Yeah.
these online things and social media. And because I've even seen them when they get into together, not all of them, but some of them, when his friends are here, even with each other, they're like on their screens. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, well, they're talking like to that kid. It's like, well, get off and talk to the kid.
Right. Right.
So
And I want to add something too. I don't want to just talk bad on it, because the gaming world, you could make a living. There's people
yeah,
that are making a living off of gaming. Uh, if that's your dream and aspiration, go for it. You know,
go for it. Yeah,
if you're good at Call of Duty, if you're good at 2K, you want to go on Twitch, you have the personality to be behind the camera and
yeah,
get an audience on YouTube, go for
go
it.
for
That's
it. Yeah,
great market. It's a great hobby, and you just turned, gaming into a career, and I applaud that. But at the same time, when you realize you're getting sucked, there has to be balance in everything. Have balance, have real fun, interact with people face to face. Learn how to be good at conversations, look people in the eye, and then have just make the best out of this physical experience that we get, and then who knows we get
exactly.
right.
I think all of those things that we talked about today, it brings it, if I would bring it down, it would be that, again, it's something we always preach in everything, all these shows, take it back inside, see what feels good for you, what matches your energy, and there's a balance. There is no right and wrong. There's like even food, everything. There's a balance.
Right.
You can enjoy everything, but make sure you're balancing it and it feels good and you're following your truth and your heart, and that gets you there.
That's right. That's right.
Samir, always a pleasure. I love these
All right.
conversations. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show as well. If there are topics you guys want us to talk about, get in touch with Samir, get in touch with me, and maybe at some point we'll even have more guests on the show. But please, if there are things you want us to talk about, email us, comment, text, and so grateful for all you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Samir.
Thank you.
Have a good day,
No problem.
everybody. Bye.